Hi, I'm Robert, and today I'm going to show you how to take this image from here to here, all in Lightroom. This is one of the most unique houses in Laguna Beach. It sits out on a cliff over the water. The waves actually crash behind it and then up onto the beach. I've never seen a house sitting this far out into the ocean before. Let's get started editing this picture. Start at the bottom. We're on the most current version. We're not going to apply a vignette. Let's press constrain crop, and since the star of this image is this house, let's fix these vertical lines. They're not sitting up straight. You can see when we apply the grid lines over it that the lines of the house are tilted back. So we go up to plus 30 to fix this problem. Now the vertical lines of the house are vertical. We'll fix the crop later. As always, apply your profile corrections and remove the chromatic aberrations. Let's add our usual 100 of sharpening and apply a mask. Hold down the Alt key to enable the mask to see what we're sharpening. We'll go up to about 50. We don't want to be sharpening the sky and adding more grain or noise into the sky. We'll skip split toning and the HSL panel. We'll come back to that later. I was shooting with a Canon 40D and a high-tech 3-stop soft edge neutral density filter. It added a pretty strong magenta color cast to the image, so let's adjust the white balance a little bit. That looks a little better. Next, we're going to bring down the highlights all the way, and the shadows, we're going to bring them up all the way. Give us the most dynamic range in this image. We can look at our histogram and see we're not all the way to the right or to the left, so let's use our white point to fix that. So we'll go plus 45 on the white point to move our histogram over, and then we'll bring our black point down, negative 25. That'll also add contrast to the image. I don't think we need to add any extra contrast, so we'll just leave it here. Let's go down to the HSL panel. I always start on luminance. Let's darken the sky a little bit. And next we go to saturation, and we'll add some saturation to the blue also. So now our sky is looking nice and crisp. Let's use our brush tool to work on this foreground element of this rushing waves. Bring the brush tool in. We have auto mask on and a soft edge. Press O for the overlay so we can see where we're going. And we'll just brush in some of this white water here. Let's turn off our overlay. It has a little bit of a tint in it, so let's try and make it more pure white. And also let's brighten it up a little bit. That looks good. Now our eye is really drawn to those rushing waves from our slow exposure. My settings for this image were 1/5 of a second at f13. Your shutter speed plays a big difference in the way your image looks. I'm only using 1/5 of a second here, which is giving us a nice leading edge of this water blurred out, but we still have a good amount of texture and natural look in the water in the background. If we were using a slower speed, such as 5 seconds, we wouldn't get the same look. Everything would be kind of smoothed out, and it wouldn't really portray the speed that the water's moving at. Let's do some more brush work here. Click on new, and let's add a mask to this area. Let's see how much we've affected. Press O. That's everything. And let's add some texture here to really bring out the house, since it's one of the stars of the image. That's enough for the brush for now. Let's crop this image a little bit. I don't want to see this house up here, so let's get rid of it. Right there, and we'll bring the sky up a little bit. That looks good. We lost that distracting house on the other end. Now we're just concentrating here. I like the composition of this image. If we bring up our thirds here, we can see we have our verticals and our horizontals. I like to place key elements in opposite ends of the corners. So we have the rushing water on the right and the house on the left. The water's in the foreground and the house is in the background. So your eye is looking from front to back and from side to side. It gives a nice composition. So when you're out shooting, I shoot in live view and I use the grid lines to help me frame my image. I hope you found those tips and tools interesting. If you did, please like and subscribe. Thanks.